Who's the
Hello, everyone. It is Mo from Mo in the Deep End, and Fry has left the building because, of course, he has. Because the youngest, most feral is here, so why would Fry stay? It is Monday, the 19th of February, and it is President's Day. So some of us are off. Thank you, Eris, for doing the modly things, even when you are not feeling the greatest. Fry's like, I was playing with my friend, and then you sent him out. I am going to get one of my toys now. Thank you, Judge Maddie, for coming over from Shizzy and Lexi and Hey Joe. Good morning. We are we made it to Monday. So let's see. From my neck of the woods, we have a Waffle House story. Now, I am sure that this happened after midnight, and what my grandma said is either nothing good happens after midnight or things that are great happen after midnight. It depends. So, one person killed and 5 people wounded in a shooting at a Waffle House in Indianapolis. I'm pretty sure this will be on World Star very soon. At least 6 people were shot, including one fatality at Waffle House in Indianapolis early morning Monday. Gunfire rang out around 12:40 a.m. at the popular chain restaurant after 2 groups of people got into a fight. Spokesperson for the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department said one woman was critically injured in the shooting and later died at the hospital, according to police. 3 men and another woman also suffered gunshot wounds and were transported to area hospitals in stable condition. A fourth man who arrived at the hospital by his own means is in critical condition. Uh, it looks like it might be. It looks like the one over by Atterbury, honestly. Or not Atterbury, the Johnson County, the new Johnson County, Armory. It looks like the one over by the Johnson County Armory. It's on Lyndhurst, JKD Buck. You know I don't know directions, though, so oh, I'm sorry, Fry, I love you too. Not the face, not the face. We've talked about this. He's like, "Just the face, mommy, just the face? Maybe the face?" What I heard was maybe the face. The deadly incident spilled out of the packed Waffle House location, occurring both inside and outside the establishment. Police are working to track down surveillance footage as well as witnesses. Authorities said the breakfast joint on the southwest side of the city was jam-packed when the shooting started. WTHR reported. Preliminarily, whatever that word is, detectives believe that the incident started with a disturbance between 2 groups that escalated to gunfire, Lieutenant Shane Foley said in a statement to the Post. It's not clear at this point if any of the people were injured were also individuals who fired shots. That will be part of what the detectives will attempt to determine. How do you not have Waffle Houses in Michigan? Do you at least have Hojos? I think I'll have to respin up my People of Walmart streams. There were no arrests as of early Monday. Indianapolis is teaming with visitors as the city played host over the last few days to NBA's All Star weekend that concluded Sunday night. Me not being a part of sports ball, I have no idea. I had no idea that we were even hosting a superstar NBA sports ball kind of thing. So there you go. I did not know that. I learn all the new things. On a sad note, the most lethal sniper in Marine Corps history, Chuck Mahwini, is dead at 75. The U.S. Marine Corps' deadliest sniper, Charles Chuck Mahwini, I hope I'm saying that correctly, who went nearly 2 decades avoiding any recognition for his kill record until it was revealed in a book, has died. Mahwini died in his home in Baker City, Oregon on February 12th, the Baker City Herald reported. He was 75. Born in Lakeview, Oregon, Mahwini began his legendary career in 1976 after he graduated from high school and enlisted in the Marine Corps that year to fight in Vietnam. Upon joining the service, he attended Scout Sniper School at Camp Pendleton, and following his graduation in April 1978, received orders to South Vietnam on a 16-month rotation, according to the U.S. Marine Corps. And that is, a good starter mustache, and he's got a tattoo, so there you go. From 1968 to 1969, Mahwini, still only a teenager, was credited with 103 confirmed kills. In addition, an additional 216 kills were listed as probable since the enemy's bodies were too risky to verify in an active war zone. Mahwini has confirmed kills over 1,000 yards, with the average kill shot for snipers during the Vietnam War taken at a distance of 300 to 800 yards. He received a Bronze Star with a Combat Valor, Navy Achievement Award, Naval Commendation Medal with Combat Valor, and 2 Purple Hearts. Yes, Fry, you're very special too. But this man's an American hero. But you're special too. He's like, "But I is special too." He's like, "Love me too." Despite having the highest kill count of any sniper in the branch's history, Mahwini returned home in 1970, slipped back into everyday life without recognition, and secured a job with the U.S. Forest Service. For years, it is believed that fellow Marine Corps legend Carlos Hathcock held the highest kill count as a sniper with 93. He still has one of the longest kills ever recorded at 2,500 yards. It wouldn't be until 1991 when one of Mahwini's spotters in Vietnam, Joseph T. Ward, wrote the book Dear Mom, A Sniper's Vietnam that credited him with holding the record, citing his 101 kills. At first, many weren't aware of the book, Mahwini included. However, word slowly began to spread in the years to follow that Mahwini was being credited with the most confirmed sniper kills in Marine Corps history. It caused controversy among the members of the sniper community who still believed that Hathcock held the record. Peter Senich, a military historian and author specializing in sniping and small arms, went to verify Ward's claim in the Marine Corps archives and found he was wrong. Mahwini didn't have 101 kills, he had 103. Mahwini, a man who valued his privacy and was not seeking fame for his actions in Vietnam, agreed to an interview with Senich in 1997, which was featured in the Baker City Herald. Um, I'm glad you blocked out that bit there, sir. Quote, "It's an opportunity for me to get some recognition for a lot of the Vietnam vets who didn't receive any recognition," Mahwini said. "We were all there together. If I have to take recognition for it, that's okay, because every time I talk to someone, I can talk about the vets. It gives me an opportunity to talk about what a great job they did." Following his interview and newfound fame among the military community, Mahwini retired from the U.S. Forest Service in 1997 and began attending events around the country with his wife, Robin. The legendary sniper told his life story to author Jim Lindsay, who wrote a book, The Sniper, the untold story of the Marine Corps' greatest marksman of all time, in March 2023. "He was a good man," said Lindsay in an interview with the Oregonian Wednesday, sharing that Mahwini never boasted about his kills and said, He did what he was trained to do. He was a good father, a good husband, an asset to the community. He was a pretty cool cat. Mahwini leaves behind a wife and 3 children. Pretty much, JKD Buck. Uh, this I I don't people have lost their GD minds here lately. Minnesota gunman dead after unaliving 2 cops and a paramedic who tried to help them during an hour-long standoff. Rest in peace, these 3 public servants and their families. I don't even 2 Minnesota police officers and a paramedic were shot dead during an hour-long standoff with a man who barricaded himself inside his home with his family, according to officials. Officers Matthew Rouge, 27, Paul Elmstrad, 27, along with a 40-year-old paramedic and firefighter Adam Finseth were gunned down while trying to rescue a family from a house in sleepy Burnsville neighborhood about 15 miles south of Minneapolis early Sunday, investigators announced during a press conference. The still unnamed shooter died at the scene. Why is he unnamed? Why don't we know this man so we can name and shame him and then bury him on Snake Island? Because I don't like him. From what reports said appeared to be a self-inflicted wound, though his cause of death is still unconfirmed. A fourth officer was injured during the shooting, but is being treated for non-life-threatening injuries, police said. Authorities had responded to domestic abuse calls from the man who had barricaded himself inside his home with his family, a woman and 7 children aged 2 to 15 around 1:50 a.m., police said. The call had been made by a resident inside the home. Yes, I understand that. It is frustrating. It is frustrating that these police officers ran towards the scene, and yet we still have the Uvalde officers who did jack crap nothing, and, they're gonna get a slap on the wrist. When the police arrived, it was determined that the man had multiple force multipliers inside, with officers at at the scene describing him as dangerous and refusing to come out, Star Tribune reported. After about 4 hours of negotiation with the man, uh, gunfire erupted and 2 officers dropped, with one being hit while inside the home. When Finseth tried to approach to rescue him, he was also taken down. About an hour later, another shot was heard from inside the house, and it was learned that the suspect had taken his own life. We have a caller calling from inside saying the dad is down, dispatchers said around 6:55 a.m., according to the Tribune. He's not breathing, he's in the bedroom, he just shot himself in the hedular area, so self-deletion. The family was removed safely from the home shortly after police began searching the site. Quote, this individual had several force multipliers, large amounts of freedom seeds, and shot at the police officers from multiple positions within the house. Across the first and second floor, said Drew Evans, superintendent of the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension. Evans noted that there had, quote, not been many calls from this house for service at all before the shootout, but said investigators are still looking into everything surrounding the home and family. Throughout Sunday, hundreds of police officers stood vigil outside the Hennepin Healthcare um, in Minneapolis, where the victim's body were taken. Quote, we must never take for granted the bravery and sacrifices our first responders make each and every day, uh, said Minnesota Governor Tim Walz in a statement. Today, the families of these public servants received the call they knew was possible but hoped would never come. My heart is with those grieving families. The state of Minnesota stands ready to support them in any way we can. This is a tragic loss for our state. The governor ordered flags to be flown at half staff Monday. Elmstrad served with the Burnsville Police Department since 2017, Rouge since 2020, and Finseth had served with the city since 2019. I hope that all of these families are getting all the support. I hope that the family of the suspect is getting support. What a douche. Uh, this is not a market opportunity. I don't believe this is legal, but I'm not a lawyer. I'm just saying probably don't do this. Good morning, Phoenix Fire. A woman rented designer clothing, then she made $170,000 selling it, feds say. Possibly don't do this. I could be wrong, but I don't think this is legal. Uh, Bolgetta Venta glasses, originally priced at $450, were available for $116. A Zadig and Voltaire blazer, valued at $650, was bought for $100. A Tory Burch sling bag, priced for $500, was sold at 109. This is a sample of items sold by a user on an e-commerce website, matching the description of a woman who has now been arrested for allegedly selling more than 1,000 luxury items she got from rental websites. The Justice Department said Wednesday, "Well, I'm glad they're fighting for real crime. I mean, let's not get, the fentanyl suppliers and all of that, but let's find the woman that's selling, Louis Vuitton from the I mean, it is still a crime, don't get me wrong. This is still, criminal in action, but let's get the you know, let's get all them people that were there for January 6th and stuff, and this chick, 'cause, priorities. Oh my gosh. Why are we Ooh, designer wigs. I have an idea. Squab Bob, don't give me any bad ideas. Oh, no, she's from Michigan. I'm gonna have to do a Michigan stinger. The Michigan woman allegedly pocketed more than $750,000 by selling stolen designer items worth more than $800,000 until federal prosecutors caught up with her. Uh, Brandolyn Horn, 42, was arrested in her home in Freeland, Michigan on charges of mail fraud, wire fraud, interstate transportation of stolen property. Horn rented the luxury clothing from at least three subscription based clothing rental companies. These companies allow consumers to rent a specific amount of clothing items on a monthly basis for a subscription fee. Instead of eventually returning the items, prosecutors say, Horn created more than 170 accounts to sell items. Wow, I can barely keep up with uh yes, mail fraud. She's a chick and she said she was a male. It's terrible. Good morning, greedy bloke. True. Uh, I can barely keep up with my TikTok or not my TikTok, I don't have a TikTok, but my, Twitter or X account, and I don't know how she kept up with set 170 accounts. I'm just saying, "Ma'am, you are better at multitasking than I am," and, well, I stink badly at that. She engaged in the scheme for nearly 2 years, at least, April 2022 to February 2024, they said. Often the photos and description that Horn uploaded on her websites matched those from the victim companies. Sometimes the items sold were worth thousands of dollars, the Justice Department said in a release. A Kinsley Cherie gown valued at almost $1,100 was available on one of Horn's websites for $189, the Justice Department said in its release, which identified Cash Horn as one of Horn's usernames for selling items. A user on Poshmark by the same username, House of Cash, as her profile also has a sold out Cherie dress. Poshmark is a website where users buy and sell new and second-hand fashion and other items. The House of Cash page is still active Tuesday morning, has more than 2,500 listings, and almost 200,000 followers. The U.S. Attorney's Office declined to comment to the Washington Post. Rental companies attempted to charge Horn for items she rented and didn't return, but she disputed these charges with her credit union or canceled the card she had provided to the rental companies, the Justice Department said. When rental companies flagged or closed Horn's account because of fraudulent activity, she opened new accounts to continue selling and stealing luxury designer goods. Hey, Joe. Awesome. Maybe you can you can go visit this woman, see if she has any, Tokidoki or Sailor Moon stuff. Asking for a friend. I'm willing to pay bottom dollar. Quote, as alleged, Brandolyn Horn perpetrated a lucrative scheme in which he defrauded at least three victim companies, stole hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of luxury or designer items, then sold these stolen items online. Damian Williams, U.S. Attorney for the District or the Southern District of New York, said in a news release. Uh, if convicted and given the maximum penalty on all three charges, Horn could be looking at up to 50 years in prison, 20 years for the mail fraud, 20 years for the wire fraud charge, and 10 years for the charge of interstate transportation of stolen property. No, Tokidoki. It's all the silly unicorns I have. They're Tokidoki. I may have a problem. I have way too many Tokidoki bags. Uh, if you are near Texas, usually I don't put these things up, but, she is missing, so keep your eyes peeled just in case. It's a long shot, but if you see this little girl, keep your eyes peeled. She should be at home. Texas investigators continue to search for missing 11-year-old girl, Audrey Cunningham, as, quote, "person of interest arrested." Several law enforcement agencies and volunteers in Texas are fervently searching for 11-year-old girl Audrey Cunningham, who has been missing since Thursday. Audrey was last seen around 7 a.m. Thursday at Lakeside Drive in Livingston, which is about 80 miles northwest of Houston, when she was supposed to catch the bus for school. Her family's called the cops after she didn't get off the bus after school, and the Texas Department of Public Safety issued an Amber Alert, which described her as an abducted child. She was wearing a black hoodie with black lettering, a camo backpack, black pants, black high top tennis shoes. She was also carrying a bright red Hello Kitty styled backpack at the same time of her disappearance. School officials say she never made it to school on Thursday. Yeah, I hate this story so very, very much, but I did wanna put it out there. I know that, I have listeners or people that may rewatch the stream from all over, and I'm a small, small channel. I don't expect this to get all over the place, but if I can do my part to get it out there and maybe someone sees something, you know, I feel like I've at least done my part just a little tiny bit. Also, sir, person of interest, I have a ticket for you. Since then, cops have recovered a backpack that could be connected to the case and arrested a quote unquote person of interest on an unrelated charge. On Sunday morning, Texas DPS released a photo of a 2003 dark blue Chevrolet Suburban, which they deemed to be a vehicle of interest. Police later recovered the vehicle later Saturday and arrested its owner, 42-year-old Don Stephen McDougal, calling him only a person of interest. He was arrested on an unrelated aggravated assault charge. Now, we have to keep in mind that this man is, considered innocent. He is only a person of interest. But, sir, if you did anything to this little girl, Snake Island covered in bacon. I am not even about to play this anymore. Quote, "We are hopeful that we can bring Audrey home alive, and that's what we're absolutely working for right now." DPS Lieutenant Craig Cummins told reporters at a press conference on Saturday afternoon, "Everyone is committed. They realize Audrey was loved by so many folks, and that's the driving force to get us answers and bring her home." So this is the person of interest. Um, yeah. Look, you have no eyebrows, sir. That's all I'm going to say about that. Cummins declined to specify how McDougal became a person of interest. Cummins concealed or conceded that foul play could be involved and said the incident is being investigated as a criminal matter. Authorities late Sunday morning said that there are no significant updates to share. Audrey's mother, Casey Matthews, said in an interview with local CBS affiliate KHOU that her daughter would not just run off and not tell anyone. Quote, "She has so many opportunities ahead of her and deserves every right to reach those opportunities," Matthew told the outlet. "She should be home where we know she's safe and she's warm and she's fed. She should be with her little brother. She should be doing what Audrey does, smiling, laughing, making someone else smile and laugh." Texas EquiSearch, a nonprofit search and rescue group, is also aiding in the effort. Local reporters posted videos of volunteers and four wheelers searching several areas. I am so glad that other people are helping. If you see something, say something. There is information on the bottom of this. Just keep your eyes peeled if you're in Texas or anywhere around there. I know it's a long shot. I am a small channel. Who knows if if anything I say, but I did want to put that out there just in case, it happens that one of you guys are out and maybe see something and you were unaware of the story. I know you guys probably watch more than than I realize, but hey, no, you are a fine or my mini 67. That is okay. I just it's more serious than I normally do, but hey, Uh, in hilarious or more hilarious news, murder suspect paid 120K to his lawyer who relied on Google during trial. In my defense, Your Honor, I am not a real lawyer, but I still took his retainer. Just though Remy Ramsaran pled guilty to unaliving his wife after the original conviction was overturned, he now says he's innocent. The judge's decision was stunning, but so were the allegations. After the 2014 murder trial of a New York man accused of unaliving his wife, the judge wrote that the defendant's lawyer was so unprepared and inexperienced he relied on Google for help with forensics and pulled questions directly from an Australian webpage with the title, quote, DNA for Defense Lawyers. On October 6, 2022, the judge overturned the conviction of Ganesh Ramsaran, 48, and ordered a new trial citing the defense lawyer's quote unquote egregious conduct. Did he not even know lawful law? How are you going to look? Even Daryl Brooks didn't Google stuff. Well, I mean, he didn't think he had to. He had his own little packet of, Sov Sit stuff, but even Sov Sit people know their stuff. Oh my God. 4 months ago, the case concluded with a plea agreement in a courtroom in southeast of Syracuse. Ramsaran, a former IBM project manager and marathon runner known as Remy, pled guilty to manslaughter in the disappearance and death more than a decade ago of his wife Jen Ramsaran, 36. Remy, who had been serving a 25 to life prison term, was sentenced to 22 years. Including the time he's already spent behind bars, he's expected to remain in prison for less than a decade. But in an exclusive interview with Dateline, Remy said he pled guilty in Jen's death only because it was, quote, the smartest thing to do legally. "I'm innocent," he said. "I've always been innocent." Remy's former lawyer, Gilberto Garcia, declined to comment on the detailed list of questions from Dateline about the allegations described in the judge's decision, but he respects the order that granted a new trial. The perfect life, a wife and a girlfriend. Fry is sad because the Farrells are having to clean up the basement because the rule is that food and dishes are supposed to, in theory, stay in the kitchen only. Now, what the Farrells hear is we can take food and dishes down to the basement and invite mice and, Sammy the garden snake that really wants to live in our basement into the basement because there are mice in there. Because there's always, floor nuggets of food leavings everywhere. So they are having to clean up. So Fry is not allowed to be out because Fry is a distraction. So Griffin is sad because or Fry is sad because he can't go out and play with his young, most feral friends until they're done cleaning. Jen, who had 3 children with Remy, disappeared on December 11th. Uh, 2012. Remy told Dateline that before she vanished, she'd gone shopping in Syracuse, roughly 60 miles away from their home in the small town of New Berlin. He'd done some work on a project, then went for a run. He said when Remy didn't hear from her by that night, he called 911 and reported her missing. A transcript of the call shows. In the days that followed, Remy found Jen's cell phone in a creek bed using the Find My Phone app. The Chenango County Sheriff's detective who investigated the case, Richard Cobb, told Dateline at the time. On December 16th, Jen's father alerted authorities he had spotted her van, a Chrysler Town and Country, abandoned in a nearby apartment building lot. Jen wasn't found for another 2 months when her remains were spotted at the bottom of a snowy embankment that had begun to thaw. Yes. Look, Squaw Bob, there are a few animals that scare me, and mice do for some reason. Mice, their beady eyes, they pop out at the weirdest times, and they just scare me to death. Okay, so y'all, I did ask the tax person, I was like, um, "So have you seen the first Resident Evil with that hallway with the lasers in it?" I was like, "How do I make that tax deductible?" And he's like, "First you have to build it." Mr. Mo was like, "Could you stop being so damn extra?" And I was like, "No, I need you all to stop coming into my room when I'm streaming." Uh, Her body was so decomposed that medical officials were unable to determine exactly what killed her. The forensic pathologist later testified at the trial, but her death was ruled a homicide. On May 17th, 2013, 6 months after Jen vanished, Remy was arrested on a charge of second-degree murder. Authorities had come to doubt Remy's account. Only one security camera positioned along what he described his running route actually captured him that morning, for instance, and believed the killing was motivated by an obsession fueled affair Remy had with Jen's close friend. Ew, he was doing her friend? Gross. Sir, you are just a douche canoe of the highest order. Also, you're running for fun? Ew. Good morning, Rusty Shackelford, my favorite name. Yeah, he said it was tax deductible if I build it first. I just don't know how to work lasers right now. Let's see. Uh, Quote, when December 11th rolled around, it was time for him to get rid of his wife, prosecutor Joe McBride said in court. In an interview with Dateline after he was charged, Remy rejected that account. He said he tried to help authorities find Jen and added that, quote, people have affairs all the time. They don't wind up killing their wives. I had a perfect life, he said. I had a wife, I had a girlfriend, I had kids. I have everything anyone could want. The worst thing to have ever happened to me is Jen go missing. Absolutely the worst thing. Sir, really? Really? This is your argument? Okay. I can't imagine how you lost, sir. You have resting douche face too. Good luck with that. A $120,000 legal bill. When the murder trial got on underway in September 2014, Gilberto Garcia was defending him. Remy had ditched two seasoned criminal defense lawyers for the New Jersey attorney whose who Remy's father had said he hired on a referral from a friend. Oh, you should ghost that friend, sir. That friend is not your friend. That is a frenemy. According to the judge's 2022 decision that overturned the conviction, the family paid Garcia more than $120,000 in a months that followed and believed the lawyer would look into presenting the defense based on cell phone tower data, according to the decision. Remy later told Dateline he was initially impressed with Garcia, who Remy said recounted doing all sorts of criminal work. We have a Nathan Wade sort of thing going on. Oh my gosh. No, would you like the seasoned lawyers or would you like Lionel Hutz? I'm gonna go with Lionel Hutz, thank you. Okay. It's a bold it's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see how it works for him on Lord. He's like, "I would like to do a motion in lemonade. I'd also like to do that, no trial-y thingy. You mean a motion to dismiss? Yes, I'm just the law talky guy. You're the judgy guy. Sounds good." But Remy said he was floored when the lawyer put him on the stand without properly preparing him. Remy was furious when his lawyer rested without calling a single expert witness to challenge the prosecution's case, even though he and his family believed part of the money they'd paid the lawyer was for that purpose. After a 3-week trial, Remy was found guilty. My shock. You should have hired, his name is third party intervener for the entity known as Daryl Brooks. He knows all the lawful law and honor. He works in honor, and if you have gold fringed, flag, he will be able to argue that. Objecture. In a 2016 In 2016, an appeals court overturned the verdict after finding that Garcia hadn't objected to what the court described as McBride's mischaracterization of forensic experts' testimony. Prosecutors appealed the decision, and the state's high court reversed the reversal, saying Garcia's conduct hadn't amounted to ineffective assistance of counsel. Roughly 2 years later, Remy's father found a new legal team to review. Hopefully you unfriended that friend. That would be an unfriending in Facebook. I'm just saying. The lawyers quickly concluded that the conviction was bad. It's a bad guy. One of the attorneys, David Hammond, told Dateline, so they filed what's known as a collateral attack, or a motion that allowed them to raise what they viewed as additional problems with Garcia's representation. The new defense attorneys found that Garcia had almost no criminal law experience. Things that you probably could have Googled, Hammond said. They also discovered time-stamped printouts showing that during the trial, he Googled forensic issues like DNA. The lawyers found that investigators working for Remy's previous legal team located a witness who could have challenged a key part of the prosecution's theory of the murder, their timeline for the day Jen disappeared, yet he was never called to testify. In October 2020, the judge who presided over Remy's criminal trial held a 2-day hearing on the matter in which Remy, his former defense lawyer, and the witness who was never called it all testified. The investigator who found the witness also testified that he'd given the person's details to Garcia. According to the transcript of the hearing, Garcia said he was, quote, very clear with the Saren family that he'd tried just one criminal case in the mid 90s and a few other preliminary criminal matters, including a bail application. Fanny, I think I found another person for your RICO case. Just saying. Of course. Under questioning from Hammond, Garcia acknowledged that he'd withdrawn from the 1990 trial because he felt incompetent. He added that Remy's family, who had taken out a mortgage to pay for the lawyer, was tight on money, but, quote, I was willing because my inexperience to take this case. I did not have trial experience being able to take on a murder case. That's undeniable. Okie dokie. According to the transcript, Garcia denied telling Remy or his family that he planned on consulting with experts. Garcia said he believed they would be too expensive. Yeah, no experts. Why would you use those? Let's save money. Get a coupon. Garcia said he wasn't even aware of the witness, who was never called. He was not asked directly about Remy's contention that he did not prepare Remy for testifying, a claim Remy repeated during the hearing. But Garcia said they had discussed his potential testimony before the trial. 2 years later, uh, Chenango County Court Judge Frank Revor issued a blistering 17-page. Oh my gosh, Sal, I need I need us to find this 17-page Chenango. There's another N in there. Court. We need to find this 17-page decision on Garcia's conduct in the case. The lawyer's testimony during the 2-day hearing, quote, revealed his sheer lack of knowledge regarding any of the technical and scientific issues relevant to criminal proceeding, the judge wrote. This is one of those rare cases where the attorney's conduct constituted, quote, egregious and prejudicial error, such that the defendant did not receive a fair trial, Revor wrote. The judge vacated Remy's verdict and ordered a new trial. The plea offered to Remy last year came amid mounting challenges for the prosecution. Cobb, the sheriff's detective who investigated Jen's killing, had died, as had a key witness who examined Remy's work computer, according to Ben Bergman, the special prosecutor appointed to handle the case for Chenango County. Another witness who testified in the first trial, the last person to talk to Jen before she disappeared, was no longer cooperative. Actually, I think we might see if this had, if they actually stream this, because this looks like a case that we need to watch, you guys. As the trial approached, Bergman said he met with Jen's parents and talked through the upsides and downsides of a potential plea. They agreed to go ahead with an agreement, Bergman said, because what they really wanted was something more than a lengthy prison sentence. Quote, they wanted him to go into that courtroom and say he was guilty, Bergman said. To Remy's new defense lawyer, the weakness in Bergman's case, combined with a stronger defense that could potentially include new evidence like DNA discovered under Jen's fingernails that wasn't Remy's, meant the prosecution wouldn't be a slam dunk, Hammond said. Bergman's offer of 22 years and a reduced charge of manslaughter meant that Remy could avoid the uncertainty of a trial and walk out of prison around 2031, his lawyer said. Remy said he initially pushed back, but later realized he didn't want to be like some inmates he said he'd come to know in prison, a person who claims he's innocent but remains stuck behind bars for decades. As part of the offer, Bergman said in an email to NBC News he wanted Remy to provide an account of the killing, but Remy rejected the request and agreed to saying just one thing, guilty. That's the only word I've ever said during this time, he said. There's nothing for me to say otherwise. Bergman said he consulted with Jen's parents and Remy declined to offer details. So long as he uttered the word guilty as to causing her death, they were satisfied. So if it was acceptable to the parents, it was acceptable to me, he said. No, no, find out who the hell DNA is under her fingernails. I mean, is anyone else curious about that? As a parent, I would be really curious as to who the hell's DNA is under her fingernails. I mean, the husband's a douche canoe, and I'd love him to say, "Look, I was screwing her friend, and I'm a absolute shit husband, and I look a little goofy, and I probably shouldn't be run marathons, and I hope I poop myself when I run a marathon," and I'd have him say a whole bunch of ridiculous crap, that would be self-shaming, but I wanna know whose DNA is under her damn fingernails, but okay. Though Remy is now claiming innocence, he pled guilty under oath because he's guilty, period. Bergman said, I do not believe any reasonable person who is truly innocent would plead guilty to killing the mother of his children. Yes, he would because he doesn't want to spend his entire life in prison. Sir, don't be obtuse. Although New York State allows people to admit to a crime to later appeal their guilty plea, Remy cannot. As part of their agreement, Bergman said he waived that right. Look, I run or shame because I can't run anymore and I'm jealous. It's pure jealousy. I will admit that. I'm a terrible person. Oklahomans dub mysterious loose bovine thunder cow. If we don't get a new animated superhero, Thunder Cow, like the Thundercats, I will be super disappointed. Residents near an Oklahoma lake have reported numerous encounters with a mystery creature, a loose cow that has been wandering the area for more than a year. Locals living near Lake Thunderbird in Norman said the bovine, dubbed Thunder Cow by fans on social media, often seen grazing next to the water during the day, but at night the cow has been known to wander through their neighborhoods. Resident Natalie Belleville had an encounter with Thunder Cow in December. Quote, she just sort of popped out of nowhere. It startled us because it's a loose cow and it's pitch black outside, Belleville told KOCO TV. I was like, you know what? I can post on the neighborhood Facebook page, just kind of put out the alert. When I did that, that's when I started getting post after post after post in response telling me, oh, hey, that's just Thunder Cow. Belleville said she didn't make any photos or video of the cow, but the bovine visitor left plenty of evidence. Not only were there hoof prints, but she left a nice little cow patty behind, Belleville said. Just use that as fertilizer. Local resident Jessica Kelly said multiple attempts have been made to capture the cow. Don't you dare. She is a free range cow. Now, I would capture her to put in my freezer or keep her as a pet. Look, I'm just saying. I'd be like, "No, that's my emotional support thunder cow." Residents have said they have not been able to determine Thunder Cow's origin. Well, um, she fights crime during the night. During the day, she's a mild-mannered bovine, and during the night, she's Thunder Cow, fighting and fertilizing neighborhoods all around, frightening soccer moms, wine moms, and fertilizing your yard. You know, just for funsies. This bear is my spirit animal. I'm just saying. If you leave chocolate in your car, it's kinda your fault. Bear breaks into Florida woman's car to steal chocolate. I mean, I kinda would too if I were a bear. February 16th, a romantic surprise turned into a costly nightmare when a bear broke into a woman's car to steal candy her boyfriend had placed in the front seat. You know, Yogi, we had this talk. It's only picnic baskets. Cassidy Simones of Golden Gate Estates said she woke up on Valentine's Day to find the inside of her car had been ripped to shreds by a hungry bear. Allegedly. Quote, I got woken up at 3:30 in the morning. My boyfriend was like, something got into the car. It looks like a bear got into there. Samos told WBBH TV. She said a bear tore up the interior of the passenger side of the vehicle. You know what this sounds like? This sounds like the man had a side chick and he's like, no, totally, it was a bear. I promise. It was a puma. Um, sure. No, it wasn't my side chick. Nope. Nope, I'm not cheating. I promise. He's like, do bears have fur? Sure, sure. This is a fake fur. Quote, "I can't even open the door at all or roll the windows down, nothing," she told WKMG-TV. Simoes said the bear had apparently been drawn to the car by the chocolates her boyfriend left on the seat as a surprise Valentine's Day gift. I'm gonna go ahead and still say it was a side chick. In my head canon only. And just for us, or just for me, our final stories. Did you really want to send an eggplant? Older people are using emojis wrong, a study says. Dave, are you listening? Grandma, did you mean to send that eggplant emoji? Hells yes, Grandma's on fire. Grandma is hot to trot. A new study conducted by researchers at the University of Nottingham found that older people tend to misuse emojis. I'm glad that the government funded a study on this. Again, governments, if you'd like to spend money on a study, I have a lot of things I'd like to study. Please send your money to House of Mo for profit charity. Such as surprised, fearful, sad, and angry reactions to express their emotions through texting. Many people use emojis in text to add spice, laughter, or context to a conversation. The studies reveal that people perceive emojis differently due to their gender, age, and culture. However, adding the wrong emojis can change the course of messages. Researchers uh, Xihua Zhen and uh, Zhizhen Yang, very English names, gathered a group of 253 Chinese and 270 UK adults for the study published in the Journal of PLOS One, with 51% women and 49% men ranging from 18 to 84 years old to understand the differences of how they perceive emojis. The findings showed a negative association between age and accuracy in emoji recognition in general. For the studies, researchers presented each emoji version from Apple, Windows, Android, or WeChat, which all have slight differences from one another. They tested participants' reactions to happy, disgusted, fearful, sad, surprised, and angry emojis. The team did advise that since only 6 emojis were used in the studies, respondents could have responded differently if they had more options to choose from. This sounds like a dumb study that, again, the government paid for. Next time you ask, ma'am, eyebrows painted on. God gave you a pair, just darken them up. You done shaved them off and then painted them on. Cannot with you. Per the findings, women, unlike men, were likely to correctly label emotions for happy, fearful, sad, and angry icons. However, it is common for people to view emojis differently, which can lead to confusion or awkward interactions. Dear Lord, dear Lord, for the love of God, make a sarcasm font. Look, I don't know if any of y'all are hackers or coders or whatever it is, magical neo people who understand technology, but please, dear God, make an italicized font that I can use in text messages that people know that I am being sarcastic. You will make a gajillion dollars. Apple will love you or hate you. I don't know. But still, sarcasm font. If I had the technical know how, I would do it myself. Oh. Well, I feel better now, mini me or my mini 67. I'm glad that no, just italics. I have all these great ideas, I just need tech support. Yeah, to be fair, I pretty much all of my messages, eh, you would know when I'm being serious because I'd actually 90% of my messages would be in italics. Only the things I need to get at Walmart would be in in regular font. Let's see. However, it is common for people to view emojis different. Okay. Some universal facial emotions may not be universal when they transfer to emoji. Dr. Hannah Howman, a lead author of the study, told Southwest News Service the UK participants were more likely than Chinese respondents to match the assigned labels of all the icons except for the disgusted emoji. Well, there you go. However, the emoji chosen to represent disgust in the study was described as confounded face online, which attributed to the mixed responses when describing the emoji. Also, the Chinese participant had opposing views of the smiling emoji, which is typically deemed as happy, meaning they used it to signify something different. Quote, our findings in relation to age and culture highlight the importance of context in emoji use, Howman told SWNS. Results of our study suggested that all factors under investigation had a significant impact on how emojis were classified. No crap. I'm so glad that you spent time y- going to look at this. Yes, that is only a happy dirt pile. Yes. Overall, the Nottingham scholars advise future studies to review individual differences in interpreting frequently used emojis. While people continue to process the meaning of each emoji, Apple is set to release 118 new for users to use in spring of 2024. It is likely that the final release of iOS 17.4, all new spyware included, uh, will come to users in March or April of 2024. Keith Brawny, 32, editor in chief of the reference site Emojipedia, oh, for God's sake, which approved the latest editions. iPhone users will soon be able to enhance their graphic vocabulary with new icons such as a phoenix, a shaking head, and four gender neutral. For fuck's sake, excuse my French. The hell do we need gender neutral families? No offense, if that's the but seriously, I want more eggplants, different colors, different shades. I want grumpy hats. I want grumpy cats. Oh, let me see what is going on. Can you hear me now? I want grumpy cats. I want flare. I want dumpster fire. I want all the things. I would like a squirrel. I want a lot more middle fingers. I want the middle finger octopus. I'm just saying, I have many ideas. Apple, please hire me. I will help you. Gets canceled. That is all, folks. Apparently, grandma I will tell you, okay, so my mom used to kind of do human resources, and, one of the women didn't understand what LOL meant. She thought it meant lots of love. So one of the employees found out she had breast cancer, and they were doing, a campaign, a fundraiser, and she ended it with LOL. And my mom said, "Hey, why did you end it with LOL?" And she said, "Well, I wanted to end it with lots of love." And my mom was like, "That doesn't That doesn't mean that." And she's like, "What does it mean?" And apparently her daughter had said it meant lots of love. So someone got grounded that night, and it wasn't me, which is rare because I was a total smartass when I was a kid. So, I dodged that bullet. Yeah, where is the emoji for Swayzer? I call shenanigans. Well, guys, I have to go to a doctor's appointment, which is always fun. I will see you guys in a little bit. I have some new videos that I'm wanting to try out, so keep an eye out for that. And, uh, I'm gonna see if Doctor Now can just follow behind me and just slap any bad food out of my hand, a guardian at snackum, if you will. I just need him to be around me and say, like, "You could lose 30 pound this month. No snacking, no snacking. That no water weight. There's no, there's no snacking, no snacking. You could lose 30 pound this month." I just need him right behind me, just smacking food out of my hand. I don't know if the doctor can prescribe that to me. I'm not sure. Doctor Now, where are you? I love that old man. He takes no prisoners. I think he is Lebanese. I am not quite sure. He's just hilarious. I love him. 'Cause every person goes in there and look, as a fluffy person, we're like, "Look, I don't really snack or nothing. I'm pretty good." And he's like, "Um, ma'am, ma'am." And you're like, "Okay, so I live on, like, Little Debbie's. What do you want from me, sir?" Anywho, have a wonderful day. Say something nice to yourself. Say something nice to someone else, and remember, look, your chapter don't judge someone else's chapter 97 to your chapter 1. We are all working hard to get places. Hey, I didn't get fluffy overnight. I'm not gonna get abs overnight unless, of course, someone wants to give me some. So, in other news, have a great day. Bye, guys.